My name is Kylie, and I suffer from chronic kidney stones. Let me back up and give you a short history of my life. I had my first kidney stone when I was 8 years old. They thought it was appendicitis because it's really rare for kids to get kidney stones. I ended up passing it and didn't have to have surgery. I had stones on and off until my senior year of high school in 2017, and then they got significantly worse. Instead of getting stones every now and then, it started happening every month, then every week, then every day. For the last 2 years, I've had less than 10 kidney stone-free days, and at least 9 kidney infections. I do absolutely everything I can to not end up in the hospital because they leave me in excruciating pain for hours and treat me like I'm drug seeking. The problem is, nobody can figure out what's wrong with me or how to stop them from forming. I've been to so many doctors and done so many blood tests just to get normal results back from the majority of them. This is what I do know. I make calcium oxalate stones. I make them because I have high vitamin D125 and high calcium. I also have nephrocalcinosis, which basically means my kidneys are encrusted with calcium. And typical treatments like a low oxalate diet and potassium citrate don't work for me. Most of my kidney stones aren't that bad. I've only been to the hospital 3 times and I've had well over 100 kidney stones, so I have a good track record of not going to the hospital. They can range from not bad enough to take Tylenol or Motrin all the way to a 10 out of 10 on a pain scale. When they're that bad, Tylenol and Motrin don't even touch the pain. It's so bad that I'll throw up, pass out, and even be writhing in pain. The last time I went to the hospital, my kidney felt like it was going to explode, and my mom drove me to the hospital while I was literally screaming in pain the whole way there. When I got there, one of the nurses told me to calm down, and if I could go back in time, I would have said to her, "Have you ever had a kidney stone before?" "No." "Then don't tell me to calm down." I've always been treated horribly at the hospital. It affects my day-to-day life significantly. I feel like I have a very low quality of life because my kidney stones basically control what I'm able to do. For example, I've been trying to get a remote job for over a year. It has to be remote because I would miss way too many days of work if I worked in person. But everybody wants remote jobs these days, and despite graduating with a bachelor's degree and a 4.0 GPA, since I have no experience, no one wants to hire me. It has also really affected my mental health. I've always had an anxiety disorder, and my kidney stones just make it way worse. I never want to leave the house because I'm scared I'll get a bad kidney stone and suddenly be in severe pain. They're unpredictable, and that's probably the worst part. It's also made me very depressed. I'm miserable most days from being in pain, and it's hard to think about trying to live the rest of my life like this. I don't enjoy doing anything anymore. Being in pain 24/7 makes me so tired that I barely have any energy to do anything. I only put on makeup when I leave the house. Small tasks feel overwhelming. For example, I've been meaning to replace my guitar strings since December. It's May now. On top of that, I have a hard time sleeping some nights because I'm in so much pain. No position is comfortable. I'll literally just toss and turn for hours. My life revolves around my kidney stones. I'm constantly taking Tylenol and Motrin and always make sure I have those when I leave the house. I have to drink a lot of water too, which can get boring, so I'm always trying to find ways to make it taste better. Sometimes I make lemonade. I also like drinking seltzer, and I've recently discovered those squeezable drink flavors that you mix into water. I take a lot of preventative measures too. I take tamsulosin, which helps relax my ureters so I can pass stones easier. I drink cranberry juice, and if I think I'm getting a kidney infection, I have pee test strips to check. The things I'm looking for are leukocytes, which are like white blood cells, and blood. If I have an infection, I also get chills, and that's usually how I confirm I have a kidney infection. I also obsessively check my temperature to see if I have a fever. They're the worst because they make my kidneys feel like they're going to explode, and the antibiotics make me so nauseous. I've learned that yogurt and milk help my nausea, but it only helps a little. Kidney infections are also exhausting. They suck so much energy out of you. There have been days where I've slept for 18 hours because I was so tired. Over the years, I've developed weird ways of passing kidney stones. Since I don't want to have surgery to get them removed, I've had to come up with creative ways to get them to pass. Besides just drinking a ton of water, I try to shake, stretch, or relax the stones out. The first method of shaking them out has different options. Going for car rides on bumpy dirt roads has helped. In the summer, going for boat rides or tubing has helped too. I also just jump up and down, but when I jump up and down, I have to land hard on my heels, and it makes my brain feel like it's rattling around inside my skull. It has to be aggressive jumping. I've also started doing 100 jump ropes a day. That helps just shake out any tinier stones, and sometimes it helps pass the bigger ones. When I have a kidney stone, moving around is the last thing that I want to do, but movement helps them pass. The second option is to stretch them out, and by this, I mean stretching in different ways like yoga or hanging off my bed. There's actually yoga poses for passing kidney stones. My go-to is hanging off the bed though. I've actually had a lot of success with it. And then the last way is to relax them out. I take Tamsulosin daily, but I'm not sure how effective it is. I also take a muscle relaxer. But I've found that tart cherry juice works better than my muscle relaxer. I was desperate to get a bad kidney stone to pass last summer and was Googling natural muscle relaxers and tried cherry juice. When I'm not home, I take tart cherry gummies. I also use heating pads or take hot baths to try to get them to pass. And then there's always new ideas I find on the internet that usually don't work. These past few months have been especially hard. They've been full of bad kidney stones, and I'm just tired. I've been isolating myself because I feel like all I ever do is complain to my friends about my kidney stones, and they're probably tired of hearing about it. I know I'm tired of thinking about it. None of my friends live anywhere near me anyway. They're all internet friends, so it's not like I could just ask them to come over and hang out when I don't feel well. I think the worst part is not having a job because then I don't have money and I don't have a cat, and it's just extremely, extremely lonely. I've recently taken on a leadership position for a nonprofit Christian retreat. I'm totally not a leader, so it has been extremely anxiety-provoking. And I recently found out that stress can contribute to kidney stones, so I feel like I'm kind of just screwing myself over. I've been going to meetings for it every Saturday morning. I've told some people that I'm volunteering with about my situation, and one of them said that I seem so smiley and happy despite everything I'm going through. I just put on a good face in front of people. Sometimes it's just easier to say, I'm tired or I'm fine, instead of explaining my situation over and over again. It's also really been hurting my faith in God, constantly asking for relief from pain, relief from stones, answers to what's wrong with me and how to stop it all, and getting nothing. I don't think most people know how I even feel because I just put on a good face in front of everyone. In fact, a few people during my retreat said that my calm nature was such a blessing to them. I fool them so easily. Nobody has any idea the amount of pain or anxiety I deal with on a day-to-day basis because I just hide it. It gets exhausting explaining my situation over and over again, so it's just easier that way. I've stopped being optimistic and go into doctor's appointments expecting nothing, just so that I'm not constantly disappointed. I don't really have hope anymore. After 16 years of trying to figure out what's wrong with me and coming up with nothing, I've stopped believing anyone will ever figure it out. And most of the doctors I've been to don't even seem very interested in trying to help me. I'm seeing a kidney stone specialist in a few months, but if he can't figure it out, I don't know what I'm going to do. How do you see the light at the end of the tunnel? How do you live with constant kidney stones and pain indefinitely? I haven't figured out an answer to that yet. So until I do, I just try to survive one day at a time.